So you're thinking about running, but not sure how to take the first step. My name is Brian Patterson, and I'm here to help. Welcome to Brian's ROMpod. Welcome to Brian's ROMpod, where we explore the fascinating world of fitness and technology. In this episode, we delve into the development of running apps and how they transform the way we track, analyze, and improve our running performance. Also, we'll discuss the emergence of wearable tech and how this has given us so much data with regards to our running. From humble beginnings to advanced personal coaching, join us as we uncover the evolution of running apps over the years. The early days of mobile testing, fitness testing, tracking, well, the development of the pedometer goes back to the 1600s. However, it was not until the 1960s that the device was developed to count the number of steps we do per day. In 1963, in the lead up to the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, Dr. Ihaya, if I pronounced that incorrectly, I do apologize, head of one of Tokyo's biggest clinics, told the Tokyo engineer Jiri Kato, a clockmaker, how he was concerned at the low levels of physical activity in the 1960s in Japan. So the solution, said Ohaya, was for everyone to walk 10,000 steps a day. So in 1965, after 2 years of tinkering, Jiri Kato produced the Manpo-kei, the 10,000 step meter. In 1965, a pedometer called the Manpo-kei was marketed by Japan by Y. Hatano, who claimed the 10,000 steps a day was ideal. Now, I remember having an iPod Nano, and there was being this foot device. In July the 13th, 2006, Apple released its first activity tracker, the Nike Plus iPod Sport Kit, which combines Cupertino's popular music player with a smart pedometer. The launch of the Nike Plus iPod Sport Kit coincided with a broad push toward health-orientated devices across the tech industry. Later that year, the Nintendo Wii would join the trend with motion tracking games like Wii Sports. While the Nike Plus iPod Sport Kit didn't sell close to the numbers, it was actually a pretty smart device in its own right. It boasted a miniature sensor that fit under the insole of a Nike Plus shoe, a similar size receiver plugged into the iPod Nano to track workouts. The product marks Apple's first step toward the kind of mobile health tracking initiatives it will pursue in the following decade, and most notably its iOS health app and Apple Watch. The software went beyond tracking steps. It also allowed users to check statistics from past workouts, set fitness goals, plus they could hear via computerized voice that preceded Siri by 5 years how far they had run, how fast their pace was, and how far they were from their destination. We're working with Nike to take music and sport to a new level, Apple CEO Steve Jobs said in a statement at the time. The result is like having a personal coach or training partner motivating you every step of the workout. The Nike Plus iPod Sport Kit pre-configured another shift in Apple's policies too. In the aftermath of the product's launch, a report by the University of Washington researchers highlighted a security flaw in the RFID-powered device that opened up the possibility of letting unwanted third parties track users without their knowledge. Today, user privacy stands as one of Apple's core concerns. While the Nike Plus iPod didn't bring about this shift, the pre-iPhone mobile device highlighted one of the biggest security issues that would define the next decade. So before we step into the smartphone revolution, let's discuss how GPS works. Well, so how does GPS work? GPS is a system of 30 plus navigation satellites circling the Earth. We know where they are because they're constantly sending out signals. A GPS receiver in your phone listens to these signals, and once the receiver calculates its distance from 4 or more GPS satellites, it can figure out where you are. Humans have looked to the skies to find their way since ancient times. Ancient sailors used the constellations at night in the night sky to figure out where they were and where they were going. Today, all we need is a simple handheld GPS, shortened for Global Positioning System, to receiver to figure out exactly where we are anywhere in the world. But we still need objects high in the sky to figure out where we are and how we get to other places. Instead of stars, we use satellites. Over 30 navigational satellites are zipping around high above the Earth. These satellites can tell us exactly where we are. GPS's system is made up of 3 parts: satellites, ground stations and receivers. Satellites act like the stars in the constellations, and we know where they are supposed to be at any given time. The ground stations use radar to make sure they are actually where they think they are. Receiver, like you might find in your phone, in your parents' car, or constantly listening for a signal from these satellites, the receiver figures out how far they are from some of them. Once the receiver calculates its distance from 4 or more satellites, it knows exactly where you are. Presto! From miles up in space, your location on the ground can be determined with incredible precision, and they can usually determine where you are within a few yards of the actual location. More high-tech receivers, though, can figure out where you are too within a few inches. Ancient sailors of history would be flabbergasted by the speed and ease of pinpointing your location today. So the smartphone revolution, the advent of smartphones with built-in GPS capabilities, has had a profound impact on the development of running apps. These apps, also known as running trackers or fitness apps, utilize the GPS functionality in smartphones to provide accurate and real-time data on the runner's distance, speed, route, and other performance metrics. This technology advancement has transformed the way the people approach running and fitness, offering numerous benefits and opportunities for both casual joggers and serious athletes. One of the key advantages of running apps with built-in GPS is the ability to actually track and measure running distances. Prior to smartphones with GPS, runners relied on estimates or marked out running routes to gauge their distances. However, this method often imprecise and lacked the ability to adapt to different routes or terrains. With GPS-enabled running apps, users can accurately track the distances whether they're running on a familiar route or exploring new paths. This feature allows runners to set distance-based goals, monitor progress, and challenge themselves to go further. I mean, I remember pre the smartphone going out on my bike and measuring out using the bike's pedometer a select distance. I'd go out for maybe 3 kilometers, and then I know that going there and back would be 6 kilometers. So, and that was a very much a kind of rough estimate of my running, of my distances. It wouldn't tell me how, I mean, I can use a watch. It wouldn't tell me my actual pace at the time, but it was something, it was a starting point. In addition to the distance tracking, running apps with built-in GPS offered real-time pace monitoring. Runners can view their current speed and average pace, helping them maintain a consistent tempo and improve their performance. This feature is particularly valuable for athletes who engage in interval training or aim to achieve specific pace goals during their runs. But providing immediate feedback, GPS-enabled running apps empowered runners to make real-time adjustments to their speed, ensuring an optimal training experience. Furthermore, GPS-enabled running apps allow users to visualize and analyze their running routes. The apps typically display the route on a map, showing the path taken during the run. This feature is especially beneficial for runners who enjoy exploring new areas or for those who want to share their routes with friends and fellow runners. Additionally, the ability to review past routes enables runners to track their progress over time and identify areas of improvement, and they can pinpoint sections of the runs where they have slowed down or sped up, and adjusted their training accordingly. I mean, Strava is a website which is a classic example of where you can be, let's say, a running, guru, or we're trying to look for a better word, in terms of particular distances or routes that you've gone round. Let's say, for instance, very near me, there's a green, Twickenham Green. So, and I know lots of people run around the Twickenham Green, and so, you could, within the community, be one of the fastest around that particular Twickenham Green route. Which was the first app to use GPS on their phone? The first running app to utilize GPS on their phone was the Nike Plus Running, now known as Nike Run Club. Nike Plus Running was initially released in 2006 as a standalone app for iPods. However, when the iPhone was introduced in 2007, Nike Plus Running became one of the first fitness apps to take advantage of the iPhone's built-in GPS capabilities. With the integration of GPS technology, Nike Plus Running provided runners with the accurate distance tracking, pace monitoring, and route mapping directly on their iPhones. The app allowed users to set goals, to track their progress, and to receive audio feedback during their runs. It also featured a social component where the runners could connect with friends, share their achievements, and participate in challenges. Nike Plus Running played a significant role in popularizing running apps and paved the way for the development of numerous other fitness apps with utilized GPS on their phone. Since its initial release, the app has undergone several updates and enhancements, expanded its features and functionality. It remains a popular choice among runners worldwide, and the Nike Run Club platform has since expanded to include additional training programs, guided runs, and personalized coaching. Now, with that, with the iPhone, a lot of, not just on, also on Android as well, a third-party industry was born. And this created an industry for third-party manufacturers, like, for instance, iPhone belt holders or Android belt holders, arm holders, even earphones. In 2004, the first Bluetooth headphones were introduced for both ears. This allowed for wireless audio, like the radio headphones, but they're a lot smaller and easy to use. Bluetooth headphones then took over the headphone industry, being a big hit for average consumers. Bluetooth technology didn't stop at headphones. Years after Bluetooth headphones hit the scene, earbuds were the next to jump into the Bluetooth wagon. The first version of the Bluetooth earbuds had a wire that connected both buds. The wire would lay in front or behind your neck. In 2015, the Bluetooth earbuds completely ditched the wire, coining the term true wireless earbuds. So the Japanese company Onco introduced the Onco W800BT in September of 2015. While they paved the way for other brands to make truly wireless earbuds, the W800BT had its issues. They suffered from bad tank connectivity and bad battery life. Regardless of all, the best earbuds take root from the W800BT earbuds. So what have been the key features of these new running apps? Over the years, running apps have witnessed a significant expansion in features, revolutionizing the way runners track and analyze their performance. Three key features have evolved are distance tracking, as we said, pace monitoring, and calorie counting. Also, not forgetting heart rate monitoring as well. Distance tracking has been a fundamental feature of running apps since the inception. Initial apps relied on GPS technology to measure and display the distance covered during the run. As technology advanced, apps became more accurate in recording distances, enabling users to track their progress with precision. Additionally, integration with mapping services allowed runners to visualize their routes and explore new running paths. Pace monitoring became another crucial feature. Running apps started providing real-time pace monitoring, allowing the users to monitor their speed and adjust their intensity accordingly. This feature is particularly valuable for runners who want to maintain a specific pace or improve their speed over time. Some apps even offered audio cues or visual indicators to keep runners informed during their workouts. And as I just said before, they'd be great for interval training. So if you've got a program which wants you to do a specific pace over some intervals, like you're doing a fast 400 meters, 8 times 5 400 meters at 5-minute pace, then it will tell you when you're doing that. So I know there's some watches, no doubt the Garmin watches, and also the Apple Watch do provide that really key feature. Or even with a race, if you're going out on a race and you want to maintain a certain distance to either beat your PB, your personal best, or just to be safe, so you're not overdoing it during the race, and therefore, you won't be able to complete it at the end because you've gone out too fast right at the beginning. Calorie counting has become a popular feature for runners interested in tracking their energy expenditure. Running apps utilize algorithms that consider factors such as distance, pace, and user profile to estimate the number of calories burned during a run. This information helps users understand their energy balance and supports their fitness and weight management goals. The expansion of these features in running apps has not only enhanced the tracking and monitoring capabilities, but also improved the overall running experience. Runners can set goals, monitor progress, and gain insights into their performance. These features provide motivation and enable users to optimize their training and achieve the fitness objectives more effectively. So, how have smartwatches impacted on the landscape? So smartwatches is now a fixture of the technology world, as well as our wrists. Recent research has predicted that as many as 353 million smartwatches will be shipped in 2027, up from just 51 million as recently as 2017. May surprise you that this first smartwatch dates back to 1927. And there was a real boom in the 80s and 90s. In 1927, the wrist route indicator, there was no GPS built in this as absolute beauty, but it will still help you get from A to B. It was just a slot scroll map cartridge. So let's say, for instance, you want to go from London to Bournemouth. It was just a tiny map, and you just slot it in onto your wrist, and away you go. Sure, you have to do some manual knob twiddling on the dual crowns, but at least you didn't have to charge it overnight. The Pulsar 1972, 50 years later, the first all-electronic digital watch arrived from the Hamilton Watch Company. Wrapped up in the 18-karat gold, it boasted LEDs, and you had to push the button to see the time at a bargain of $2,100 in 1972. In 1982, the Seiko TV Watch, as worn by James Bond in the film Octopussy, this smartwatch needed an adapter and a whopping great receiver box to show grainy TV images below the digital time display. It cost about £500, and your TV action was presented in 10 shades of grey. In 2003, the Garmin Forerunner. Garmin has a pretty strong foothold in the GPS sports watch arena. It's an area which has been evolved in for over 10 years. The original Forerunner range paved the way for the likes of the Forerunner 15 by measuring speed, distance, pace, and calories burned. And it ran from a pair of AAA batteries, which would get you around 14 hours of action. Fair to say that things have slimmed down slightly in the last nearly 20 years. The 2012, there's the Sony Smartwatch. At a glance, the Sony Smartwatch didn't look too different from devices today. The original Sony Smartwatch was a companion device for the Xperia smartphone range, running a modified version of Android. It had a 1.3-inch OLED display and was well received by the tech press, despite the tendency to crash for no apparent reason. It was succeeded by the Smartwatch 2 in 2013 and the Android wearing touting Smartwatch 3 was a higher watermark for the brand in 2015. However, there was no Sony Smartwatch 4, and the line hasn't been continued. A very famous brand in the smartwatch industry is the Pebble. Back in 2013, the Pebble smartwatch campaign was the most successful Kickstarter ever. Capable of a range of notifications, the Pebble could also act as a remote controller for your smartphone or for devices such as the GoPro camera. The Pebble app store had over 1,000 applications, and its fun, quirky design inspired a cult following. However, when the smartwatch market heated up with Apple and Samsung coming into play, the Pebble couldn't keep up. It was eventually bought and shuttered by the Fitbit, but its innovations are still at the heart of modern wearables such as the Fitbit Versa and the Fitbit Sense. In 2013, the Samsung Galaxy Gear. The Gear had kickstarted Samsung's smartwatch assault. The device was announced at the IFA 2013 a year later, and we now have 6 Samsung smartwatches. It seems the trusted Sami's method of saturating the market with its devices is being applied to the smartwatch genre. The original Gear was a critical flop and very much stank of a product release just to be Apple to the punch. However, Samsung stayed in the race and has risen to number 2 in the smartwatch global rankings. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 reunited it with Google OS and is part of the resurgence to challenge Apple's dominance. In 2015, the Apple Watch was launched. While the world expected it to be called the iWatch, the Apple Watch was originally unveiled to an expectant crowd in Cupertino in the September of 2014. While it signalled the new era of smartwatches, the first generation lacked GPS. Apps had to be piggybacked from the iPhone versions, and they couldn't access the Apple Watch's array of sensors. But it's come a long way since. Over the 9 generations and expanding to 3 separate models, the Apple Watch has spearheaded features such as ECG, heart rate notifications, fall detection, walkie-talkie modes, and LTE on the wrist. It's not only become the leading smartwatch brand, but displaced the likes of Rolex, Tag Heuer, and other Swiss watch giants to become the all-out biggest watch globally. Impressive stuff. So, watches in general, well, one of the benefits of having a smartwatch is that you're not having to carry around your iPhone or phone. Normally, it would be strapped to your wrist or arm, waist or arm. It also enables a more accurate tracking of fitness activities. Wearables like fitness trackers can capture data such as heart rate, steps taken, distance covered, while running apps on smartphones can track routes and pace. But syncing these sources of data, users can obtain a comprehensive overview of their workouts, allowing them to monitor their progress and make more informed decisions about their training routines. And there is a feature on the Apple Watch now where it will remember the route that you've taken. If you do run a regular route quite often, then it will do a program where it will try and pace you to try and run that route faster, and it will show on your actual watch whether you're going faster or slower for that particular route. Overall, syncing data between running apps and wearables empowers users to take control of their fitness journeys, make data-driven decisions and optimize their performance while maintaining a holistic approach to health and wellness. So what will be the future advancements in running apps, such as the incorporation of AI, which is very topical at the moment, machine learning for more accurate tracking and predictive analysis? In the future, running apps are more likely to incorporate advanced AI and machine learning technologies to provide a more accurate tracking and predictive analysis capabilities. These advancements will enhance the overall running experience and help users achieve their fitness goals more efficiently. With AI and machine learning, running apps can analyze large volumes of data collected from various sources such as GPS, heart rate monitors, and wearable devices. This analysis can provide invaluable insights into the runner's performance, including stride length, cadence, energy expenditure, By understanding these patterns, the apps can offer personalized training plans, tailored recommendations, and real-time feedback to improve technique and prevent injuries. Moreover, AI algorithms can leverage historical data to make accurate predictions about the runner's future performance, potential race outcomes, optimal training regimes. By considering these factors like weather conditions, terrain, and personal fitness levels, these apps can provide valuable guidance and adjustments to maximize training efficiency and performance. Overall, the incorporation of AI machine learning in running apps holds a greater potential for revolutionizing the way runners track and analyze their progress, enabling more informed decisions and better results. So to summarize, we have always been fascinated about how technology can integrate with our daily lives. And this is an excellent example of how this is done. I remember years ago using one of the polar heart rate monitors. Wow, haven't even talked about polar. It was just a basic heart rate monitor, and I thought it was brilliant. It even made me run longer. I think how technology has become more advanced and smaller, the fitness industry has really jumped and tried to give us the tools and guidance to make us better runners and walkers. However, can these devices and apps make us better runners? Well, an article written in 2012 by Adam Vaughan in The Guardian, he argues it can. He says, and I quote, "Can an app make you run faster? Yes, for me at least. Beat yourself challenges, virtual leaderboards, keep you on your toes and away from the complacency if you run alone most of the time, and the dashboard and the tracking tools of iOS and Android apps, as well as GPS watches, mean you can't lie to yourself about whether you're racking it up, say the 40 plus miles a week you should be doing for a sub 3-hour marathon." Well, my conclusion is that if it makes you get out the door more often, then all the better. Plus, if you employ a running coach, then you really will fulfill your potential. That's it for another episode, and looking forward to speaking to you next week with some beginner hints and tips about running. I just want to let you know that you can follow me on X, or what was known as Twitter, at Brian's Run Pod. I have just recently set up a Facebook page which is called Brian's Run Pod, and I am on Instagram at Brian's Run Pod. Also, my website is www.briansrunpod.co.uk, where you can get show notes, or on whatever podcasting app you are listening to the show. Plus, all my episodes have chapter markers if you need to get to different segments of the show. Plus, leave a review, as it will help others find this podcast. Music is Happy Day by Stock Audio, not forgetting artwork by Alice Patterson. Till next week, thanks again for listening.